Well, when I came, I started from very simple beginnings when I came here. I lived in a tent for 6 months, and then I got a little caravan and I lived in that for a year and a half, and then I built a workshop and I lived in that for 6 years. And I would probably still be living in that workshop now if the planning department hadn't turned up and told me that I wasn't allowed to live there. And I asked them what I should do, and they said, well, you either apply to build a house or you apply for a change of use for the caravan. And anyway, to cut a long story short, it was the planning department really that put me in a position where I had to build a house. And it was a great experience. I'd never built a house before, but we took it all away from the trees. We cut down the trees, I bought a mill and we milled timber, and over a period of 2 years we built a lovely house, you know. From my experience here, I know that forest could support a lot of livelihoods. There could be 20 or 30 or 40 families living up in that forest without over-exploiting that resource, that could all benefit directly from access to that land, whether they benefit directly through getting a croft or getting a job or whatever, or whether it's indirectly just through more people coming through the door of their shop or somewhere to walk the dog. They will know that their house is kept warm by wood from the forest. They will know when they're eating their mushrooms, their shiitake mushrooms or whatever, that's Jim that grew those up in the forest, you know. When they turn on the lights, even that renewable energy is coming from a wind generator up on the hill or a hydro in the burn. And that starts rebuilding people's connections. I think in our modern lives, it's very easy because we flick a switch and the lights come on, and we turn a tap and the water comes out. And we go to the supermarket and we come home with a whole trolley full of food. And there's no connection with any of those things. Our lives, the things that actually support our lives, we have no connection with where they come from really anymore. And through the forest resource, I feel that people can start rebuilding some of those connections with the things that they need to support their lives.
We use cashew nuts, olive oil and loads of basil.
We hope that local market's actually going to stimulate interest in growing food. Within the project we hope to release allotments to people, or allow them access to allotments so that they can grow food too. Because some people are living in 4x4, 4 in a block housing. They've got tiny little gardens, there's kids jumping about all over the place. And a lot of people have expressed the need to have an allotment or a space for growing food. So if we have a market to showcase what people can grow, then we can stimulate interest in speaking to people about gaining access to an allotment so that they can grow their own stuff in the forest. There's a way leave, there's an area that runs right through the forest which hasn't been planted with trees, and it's south facing and it would be perfect for growing food. So we hope that we can get people excited about growing their own stuff and make it possible for them to do that once we are able to buy the forest.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There are people I've not seen for a long while here, so it's great. It's a social gathering, but people trading whatever they produce locally, so it's a really good thing. But no, it's all part of working towards locavore, which is a dietary choice really, where rather than choosing to eat meat or be a vegetarian or a vegan or whatever, it's about eating local. So whatever food is produced locally, that's what you try and eat. And there's people all over the country sort of working towards that, and it's very exciting, A lot of people find it changes their whole life, not just their diet, but they make a lot of new social connections that they didn't have before. You know, it makes their lives more real, more connected to their local soils.
Where you are just now, the house is called Achnaha, which is in Ballymore Estate in Otterferry. This is where I live. I've been living here for the past 5 or 6 years in this rented accommodation. The main disadvantage is probably the not being settled, the not putting a taproot down to know exactly where you're going to be next year. We could be told that somebody else is coming in to stay here and we could be put out within a month's notice. So it stops you from having that solid standing stone feeling of being secure. The main concrete possibility that the forest project will open up for me hopefully will be to have a home, a family home to live in and stay in, and possibly to run it as in a small crofting scenario where I can grow produce, maybe supply produce. We're talking about keeping goats and making goat cheese to supply to the local village, the local community, and just to set up a way of life, I think.
We come down the beach quite often to play, and we like it, but there's not many different opportunities for them here. So the chance to develop a forest so you could have assault courses and zip wires, they'd love it. And tree houses. My daughter's been wanting a tree house for years. She hassles me all the time for it, but we haven't got any trees big enough in our garden. And she's really pleased and just really excited about the opportunities that are there, just at the back, but we can't do anything at the present. So my kids, they've grown up with their friends in the village, and to be able to live in the village with their friends when they're older would be such a good thing. And at the present, I can't see that happening because the opportunities aren't available for them. So to develop the forest and open up these opportunities so they could afford a house and to get a local job so they can be part of the community with their friends that they've grown up with since they were young. It's very, very important to me, yeah. I am hoping that this meeting, the Forest Commission, will grant us permission to go ahead with this. I'm not sure exactly how that will come about, if it will be privately funded or by other means, but I'm really wishing and hoping that it's just going to be a very positive outcome, that the Forest Commission can see sense that the village could benefit so greatly from this.